What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and tonight we're going to continue our discussion of the Mammoth Strength Challenge V Pro-Am, discussing the ladies middleweight category, and tonight it's about Megan Hogg. Ciao, homie! Welcome back to My Block's Strongest Man, where we bring strongman into the mainstream by discussing all of the latest strongman events in the greatest analytic detail that you'll find anywhere on YouTube. We also show you how to replicate some of those events at a smaller scale with objects all around you in your own home. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to this channel so you get notified of all of the latest videos that I release 4 times a week for your viewing pleasure. Make sure to comment below whether you agree or disagree with my videos. I love the engagement and I respond to every single comment. Now on to today's topic. So, if we go back over to the Mammoth Strength Challenge Facebook page, we'll see Megan M. Hogg under the middleweight category for Ladies Open Class. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the prep that she's doing and how great she's looking leading up to this contest. So, first of all, let's go back to my trusty spreadsheet and look at what the events are for the middleweight ladies. So again, overhead medley for 60-second time limit, you have a 110-pound log, 110-pound axle, 120-pound Mauser block overhead, and a 145-pound Viking press for as many reps as possible in the remainder of the 60 seconds. We then move over to the deadlift medley for 60-second time limit, a traditional deadlift at 310 pounds, an 18-inch axle deadlift at 385 pounds, and then we have a car deadlift for as many reps as possible. I don't know what the weight in hand will be, so a little difficult to determine who's going to place where, but we'll see what we can do. We then have the farmer's frame medley, farmer's 200 pounds per hand, frame 400 pounds returning, and again, I'm going to guess that it's the same as the pro men, meaning a 50-foot length out and a 50-foot length back. We then move into the stone carry medley, and that has a natural stone at 160 pounds, an Atlas stone at 155, a Mauser block at 180, and a Husafeld stone at 200 pounds. And I think if you've been watching my collection of videos on all the Mammoth athletes, a lot of them have been substituting in a couple of things. One, for the car deadlift, they use a trap bar deadlift because it has that neutral grip, you know, in the absence of actually being able to lift a car to prep. And the other substitution that I've noticed is on the natural stone, they're using sandbags. And I'm going to assume that's because when you pick a natural stone out of the forest and it weighs, you know, 160 pounds, it's difficult to fashion another stone that weighs exactly that much, but it's easy to make a sandbag that weighs that much. So those are kind of the substitutions I've been seeing, and they make sense to me. Then we're going to end up with a tire flip. Bigger, biggest. 400-pound tire flip, followed by a 450-pound tire, ending up with a 500-pound tire flip. So, how has Megan's training been going? Well, let's go have a look at her Instagram. And here it is. So, we're going to start off here with a stone medley. And so here she's saying this is her final day. This was 4 days ago, final day before the competition. And of course, you need a few days to recover and make sure you're in prime condition for the contest. So she's doing Atlas here. And let's see, if I scroll down a bit, we'll be able to see the weights. So she's doing a Husafeld for 200 pounds, 180-pound Atlas, I believe. It just says stone, but it looks like the Atlas. 210-pound Mauser, which, if we go back to the spreadsheet, the Mauser is only supposed to be 120, and so she's lifting like a way heavier Mauser block, and she's basically saying, because I guess these are her training mates, put that one on there for her to grab, unbeknownst to her, which is kind of funny. But it's funnier yet that she was able to do it and kind of shut them up, in a sense, right? And then a 175-pound sandbag, as I mentioned, so she says it'll be a natural stone in the competition, but it's 160, and she's overlifting that, and she's fast. I mean, she's doing weights that are a little more than comp weights here, and she's really hauling here. So looking very good in the stone carry. We then go to the dog carry. That's not a an event in this contest, and then we move on to the overhead medley. So far with stones and overhead, she's doing full medleys, which is like really commendable. Some other athletes, especially some of the pros, are doing individual events, maybe working on weak points, which is always good as well, but you do want to practice in the same sense or methodology that's going to happen at the contest, and she's doing that here. So she's doing a log into an axle, into Viking press. The only thing she's missing there is Mauser. So she did the Mauser kind of stone carry equivalent, but not the overhead press, at least not in this session. So she mentions 90% of competition weight, and it's hard to tell in the sentence if that means just for the Viking press or for all three of these weights. So in the absence of weights for the other two, I'm going to assume they're all 90% of contest weight. So I'll go with that unless, I see some other evidence to the contrary. Then here we have some farmers. 205 pounds per hand and 410 back, which is slightly more than contest weight. And again, she's moving. Like, that's pretty fast for that amount of weight. And then let's watch her here with the frame. So you can see, and again, it's a 410-pound frame coming back. And again, avoids the dog obstacle and some pretty good speed there as well. So I like what I'm seeing both strength and speed-wise there. And then kind of scroll through some more. This is a sandbag to the shoulder, which is not happening in the contest. And then we have here, so this one was a tough one for me too, because she's doing deadlifts and she just kind of says how much, like, she doesn't really like deadlifts, but it's hard to tell what the weight is, so she doesn't say it, and I kind of had to, I think I assumed in my calculations that it's 3 plates, even though you can only see 2, but it might be 2 because she's doing some, like, crazy eccentrics here as well, which makes it way harder. So I don't know, it's hard to tell, so I had to kind of just use my judgment there. And then, let's see, so here we're doing some shoulder press from the rack, which is going to be a little bit different. Then as we scroll through some more, kind of some personal activities, and then some cleans. And as we scroll through some more, strict presses. I love these, by the way. I do them with power blocks, but bench press from the floor is really awesome. It feels great on my back, actually. That's why I like doing them. So she has her training partner there, canine training partner. And then some more cleans as well. So it seems like she really enjoys cleans. And again, like, the only tough part for me was trying to tell how much that deadlift was. But here she's doing an axle, so she says it's a 13-inch for 315 pounds. So that gives us a good idea on the axle. And she did it for, what, 3 reps? 4, it looks like? 5. So they're touch. They're not even like paused all the way on the floor. They're touch reps, which are harder. And then we go into some truck pull. So now we're back to 17 weeks ago. So we'll kind of stop there and not go back too far in time. And we'll go back to my analysis and see where I think that places her. So if we come back here, here's Megan on the first line. And so if you've watched my other videos, you'll get used to kind of how I do my math. Basically, I take each medley, break them down into their component parts, think about who's best in each of those components, and kind of average it out to think about, like, what the total time for that medley would be. And then that's why these items in green, these numbers are kind of weird average numbers that I'll then use relative to each other to determine placing. So, is she doing medleys? Yeah, she's doing overhead medleys and deadlift medleys and all kinds of medleys, stone medleys. So, like, yeah, she's really on point there. The log she was doing, we'll count it as 90% of contest weight, which would be about 100 pounds for 2 reps. And using my, really general online max rep calculator, that would be a 103 max. So I think that puts her in about 4th place if I read correctly that it's 90% of contest weight. Same for Axel for the same reason, 4th place. I didn't see her do an overhead Mauser press, so I had to leave that out and kind of assume she'd come in, do that about the same as the other 2 overhead activities. Viking press, she did 130 pounds for 8 reps, so it's going to be 145 at the contest. But again, if you use kind of an online max rep calculator, 130 for 8 reps means she could do about 160, 161, so 145 shouldn't be a problem. And so it'll be 145 for less than 8 reps, but multiple reps. So I think that puts her third best Viking presser. We then move over to the deadlift medley. So here she was doing 225 for 2. So that would be about a max of 231, which unfortunately I think gets her 0 points. I don't think she's close enough to 310 to be able to do it, unless, again, I'm misreading it. So I kind of was counting that as 2 plates. Maybe if it was 3 plates, then it would be 315 for 2, and she'd be fine. So I'm going to leave it to the 2 plates that I could see, only because I'm going to assume that if it were more plates, they would have expanded out the frame and show them. Maybe she'll correct me on Instagram and I'll come back and redo this. So let's leave it as of right now, it looks like she's not deadlifting enough to complete that particular lift, which means she wouldn't get to the other ones and would zero out on deadlift. Then we have the farmers, where she did 205, which is more than contest weight. I think of all the ladies that I've seen here, that makes her second best in farmers, and her 410 frame would probably make her first best in frame. So she comes in kind of an average of 1.5th place, which is actually tied with Alila Wardley for another reason, right? And then I'll decide later, when I show you the placings, who kind of breaks that tie. Then we go into the stone medley, and those 2 ladies actually are the only ones out of the 4 that I've evaluated so far that are doing stone medleys in their prep. So Megan, 175-pound sandbag, edged out by Alila by 1 pound. So first and second there. She did a 180-pound Atlas stone, which is well above what will be required at the contest. So I think she's the best Atlas stone carrier. I think she's the best Mauser block carrier. And I think she's the second best Husafeld stone carrier. So that, again, in the stone medley, kind of ties her across the 4 disciplines with Alila Worley, which, again, I'll tell you later how I break that tie. Going into the tire flip, I have her 4th. I didn't see her doing tire flips, so of the 2 ladies that I saw actually prepping with tire flips, they have to be first and second because they're the ones that are prepping with it, and based on the evidence, that's the only conclusion I can come to, right? If the other ladies are good at tire flipping, I just wouldn't know. So not to say that they're not, I just wouldn't know. So that's kind of how it breaks down for Megan. Now, taking all that mathematics into consideration, where do I think she places? Well, I think she places 4th, and that's for a total of 17 points. So how does that break down? Overhead medley, I think she'll be earning 3 points, which is 4th place. The deadlift, again, I had to zero her out, and even if I don't, she's behind Jules Mansfield by 4 points. So even if I gave her, 1, 2, or 3 points here, she still would be in 4th place. So that's kind of why I stuck with assuming it's 2 plates instead of 3, because it doesn't make a big difference in the placing, although I'd like to get it correct. So, Megan, if you see this and I'm wrong, please correct me. Farmer's frame, I think she wins that event. So 6 points there. Stone medley, I think she comes in 2nd, possibly even 1st, but I'm going to say 2nd. So that's 5 points there. And then tire flip, I have her getting 4th place with 3 points. So that's how it all broke down. 17 points, 4th place for Megan Hogg. Let me know in the comments below what you think about my analysis. If you agree, you disagree, how well you think you'll do. Speaking of Mammoth, I'm getting messages from Gabe Pena here. Interesting. So, thanks again for joining me on my Mammoth Strength Challenge V Pro-Am analysis. Look forward to lots more videos before Saturday. And remember, sign up. It's a free live stream. Go to Garage Gym Life Media now and subscribe. Watch this first video they have with this handsome young man. That's me. So I just got interviewed by these wonderful people. And scroll down. Go to the video with David Waters, which is this one in kind of the aqua blue color. And if you go to the description, you will see the link to the live stream right there. I'll make it easier for you. In my description of this video below, there's a link to the contest free live stream and a link to my after show reaction free live stream. Subscribe to them both and set your reminders right now, please. And until next time, as always, ciao, homie. So if you like this video and want to learn more about any of the products I described during this video, make sure to check out the links in the description below. So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.